Hey, Wade.
Good morning, Rob.
Brother, I got a question for you. What's your relationship with the tarot like?
That's a complicated question. I have I've used tarot. I've read with it. I've done magic with it, but honestly, I have never really had a deep personal connection to any of the tarot decks that I've had. Usually, I would just pick one if I liked the artwork on it, but it would never really felt like an intrinsic part of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was always kind of holding me back from real in-depth advanced tarot practice.
You know me, I'm a professional tarot reader. I teach tarot here in the Philippines. And of course, you know me, I've gone the opposite spectrum where I have helped professionalize tarot here in the Philippines. So I understand the opposite angle of it. But one area that's consistently neglected is the spirituality aspect of it. That's I always tell people that the deck is not just a deck of cards, that there's a spiritual, deeper mysticism to it. So today, without further ado, we're honored to be once again blessed with an occultist, an author, a musician, and even a deck creator that we all look up to ever since we were magelings, who is in fact somebody who has tapped into that mystical side of tarot. So without any further delay, welcome back to Magic.tv, everybody's friendly neighborhood occult Santa Claus, the lovely Lon Milo Duquette. Welcome back, Lon. Wait, there you go.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back. Thank you, boys, for having me on again. And whoa, there I am.
All right. So, you know, Lon, when people mention Lon, they talk about Enochian, they talk about my life with the spirits, they talk about magic, and it's all in your head, but you don't know how big your head is. But one aspect of you that I've really learned to respect, that I would like to bring more attention to our viewers to, is the fact that you pretty much made the briefcase of books in the Tarot Ceremonial Magic book, where it's an aspect of tarot with magic and everything into it. So with that, I wanted to ask you, Lon, about your journey with the tarot and what has pretty much made it part of who you are as an occultist. Like, why did you go in this direction? Why did you involve both ceremonial magic and the tarot together?
Well, to me, they've always gone hand in hand. I wasn't in the early 70s. I wasn't, hot to go into tarot or be a tarot reader or anything like that. But I was interested in the Western mysteries and things like that. And I joined the Rosicrucian Order Amorc. Okay.
Ooh.
And which is sort of like Hermetics light, it was almost like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn for Americans.
Okay.
back in the like 1913 or 18 or something like that. So it wasn't magic. It wasn't didn't call itself that, but it was sort of like Rosicrucianism light, and but it was good stuff. It was good stuff, and my brother joined and was a member of a local lodge. Now, most people that were Amorc people or are just take the correspondence course, which is like I say, Hermetics light. But there's also lodges and little lodge ceremonies and stuff. And so I became active in a local lodge there in Long Beach, California. And that's where I just enjoyed the putting on ceremonial robes and strutting around in the dark. I love this stuff, and I like the meditative, the mystical aspect of each of the convocations and things. And some of my fellow Rosicrucian friends were also taking this course from the BOTA, Builders of the Adytum, which was also a correspondence course, but also had lodge work going on in Los Angeles. And they taught the Hebrew Kabbalah by means of the tarot. And they taught tarot by means of the Hebrew Kabbalah. And so at their insistence, I joined the BOTA and started taking their lessons. And that's the Paul Foster Case material. He was the head of the BOTA, or the founder of it. And he was like an American Golden Dawn guy in the early years. And so the guy's wonderful. If you haven't read anything by Paul Foster Case, do. He's just it's wonderful material. And they tore a page out of the Golden Dawn's early lectures and early exercises, and required the members to paint their own tarot deck. Okay. And because the tarot is founded and organized along very classic Cabalistic ways. Okay. There 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, 22 tarot trumps, 4 letters in the great name Yod He Vav He that correspond perfectly to the wands, cups, swords, and discs, and within that there's little Yod He Vav He's as the court cards. You know, the knights, the queens, the princes, and the princesses. It's just all. It's kindergarten Kabbalah, but I really needed that, okay, to get started in both of them. And what they would do is they would send a blank deck of tarot cards, and here's my Fool card from my my deck, Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. It's the Fool card. Okay. It's got the kind of classic colors, and in its own way, it's the classic image. But that's what it looks like before it's colored. Okay. Now, every color in there is important. There's Cabalistic scales of color. And so it's just not arbitrarily colored, and the images inside, like this the Dionysian thrisis that he's doing, and the fact that he's got the wreath on the head, and there are certain things that characterize each of those tarot cards. And so there's 22 of those, and then the rest of the tarot is Cabalistically based too. But they give you that blank tarot card and give you 2 weeks to study their other little monograph. And here's why it's yellow, and here's why it's, here's why he's got this. And in the BOTA deck, why he's got a dog barking. And if you take 2 weeks on every tarot card, just coloring it, just bonehead, like if it was a coloring book, get out your crayons and spending 2 weeks with each of the card, like burns it into deep, deep, deep into your psyche. And when you trigger all of these proper colors and everything else, you're activating those same frequencies within yourself. So as you're designing, painting, creating, your own tarot deck along some pretty well-worn paths of Cabalistic uh, meditation, you're subtly mutating yourself. Okay. Instead of, I'd like to look at it like you're lubricating the machinery of your psyche. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're rubbing wax paper on it.
Oh, right, and sliding down yeah, right. That's exactly I'm going to use that. That's good.
Well, we got it from you.
Yeah, you taught us that.
The first thing you wax paper your cards so that they slide.
Shuffle better.
Yeah.
Wait, Lon, I digress. I'll take that from you. Did they do all the decks or just the major arcana cards?
Just the major arcana. They provided deck, a blank deck of all the cards, but they're mostly just sort of line drawing redos of the Rider-Waite thing.
Mm-hmm.
The big
we
thing,
used to carry that in ancient ways. They carried the deck just the black and white. We had to go through and color it all in.
Yeah. But their focus on Cabalistically, at least in the lessons, the first few years of the lessons, was on that 22 trumps.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see the method to the madness. Okay, I could first of all truly appreciate why the Golden Dawn, as a magician's training,
Mm-hmm.
would say, look, if you learn the tarot correctly, you're simultaneously learning the fundamentals of the Hermetic Kabbalah. You're simultaneously learning the fundamentals of ceremonial magic and all of the Kabbalah-based things. You're learning a little bit of astrology. You're learning a little bit of all the other magical systems that are Kabbalah-based, including things like Enochian magic, okay, which is kind of Kabbalah-based, okay? And you're learning astrology because each card has its astrological attributes, and it's just more than your zodiac sign. I mean, they're complex, okay? And you're learning even other systems like the I Ching, Chinese Book of Changes, which is the oldest oracle in the world. And so the idea that simultaneously creating, mastering, learning, building, installing the structure of the tarot inside yourself is simultaneously doing all of that other stuff, and in doing so, lubricating, giving you the ultimate lube job of your soul.
I have a question, Lon, if you don't mind me asking, like, the before and after, where before you would probably, I don't know if you had like a deck before you did that with the BOTA, but what was like the biggest difference you noticed about your relationship with the tarot after you went under that lubrication where you really extensively colored the cards and followed the patterns? Like, did it have like you said, there was a change, but I'd like to hear more about that. How did that upgrade you? Like, what were some of the manifestations of that?
Well, it's hard to, that's an impossible question to answer. Because you're so close to yourself, you don't know when you change.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say is I can imagine what a total screw up I would be. You don't know how potentially bad I could be. Okay, so even if I'm, having the challenges and funkiness of my life right now, I can imagine how bad it could be. So it's like Well, what has the pentagram ritual ever done for you? And it's, well, I don't know. I'm too close to myself to see, how I've changed or not. But I do know one thing is that the whole idea of Cabalistic illumination is that you train yourself to open your eyes to see how everything in heaven and earth is connected to everything else in heaven and earth, and that sort of broadens your perspective on life in general. And so the having my inner workings at least in a degree of harmony with just the way things are in this dimension, which is what Kabbalah does, uh, uh, is an asset. And any degree of success or any degree of illumination that I may possess or assume I possess or pretend I possess or am deluded into thinking I possess has certainly been enriched by my life with these subjects, and at the very center, the core of all of that is the tarot. Now, I travel with a tarot deck because I'm asked to read for people. And I travel with my own tarot deck because with it, I can create a little magical temple, circle everything, all the Enochian equipment, everything else is in my tarot deck. I can do it in my hotel room, It's a lonely magician's toolbox.
I have a continuation question to what you shared because I'm very fascinated by this. With the accessibility of tarot going up in the world nowadays, are these older practices that you've had and if you've been experienced to, are these things that you would wish that the new generation of tarot readers would implement into their study and practice? Because I see a lot of people pick up decks and they basically see decks and cards just like a means of fortune telling and making a quick buck. But what you're making me understand is that this is almost a sublime mystical experience you get by doing these things. So is it something you would want to see younger generations get into more?
Well, that's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally up to them. The idea that you'd want to get into tarot so you could tarot read or have a blog or have a make money off of. If you want to do that, I'm sure there's more harmful things you could do with your felonious self then expose yourself to a certain degree of mystic principles in the tarot. Tarot is bigger than the tarot reader, and so it's a living organic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play with living organic things just like a zookeeper or a pet owner can be abusive to their pets. Okay. And if the pet doesn't die, hopefully it'll bite them at least. And if they're good to it and nurture it and everything else, it's a growth experience. You become part of that organic growth process. Aleister Crowley was once asked, paraphrasing everything, aren't you afraid people will want to get into magic so that they can do black magic, they can hurt people, do it for unworthy motives. And Crowley said, "Oh, that's okay. You know, if you want to be a magician, so you can do that stuff, first of all, you got to become a magician in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So right away, everybody's safe.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
They're safe from you because you have to become a magician to do that. And if that's your motive, fine, okay, be a magician. But in order to be a magician, you have to mutate yourself. You have to transform yourself. You have to enlighten yourself to such a degree that you understand how all of that works so that you can work it that way. And by the time you become a magician, doing stuff like that's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, it's like getting into chemistry. So you can say, well, I want to build bombs. But then by the time you get, all your chemistry education, then you're like, man, there's a lot cooler things I can do with this.
Right.
Than blow myself up.
Or like the person who says they want to take up martial arts just so they could beat up somebody, but by the time they actually get their black belt, they have that level of honor already that they're like, you know what? I know this so that I don't have to use it. So you become more responsible. So I guess in the end, the process of becoming that gives a level of responsibility to come with it, which will lead me to my next question. I have been observing that you are teaching a tarot course right now online with magic.me. Can we learn a little bit more about that? I mean, like, what can people expect from that program should they choose to enroll in it with you?
Oh, that's it's like a 3 or 4 degree tarot course that more or less sets you on this path. And yeah, it's continuing on magical me. And it's one of the things in my later life here that I'm most proud of. And the pandemic knocked out a great deal of my personal lecturing and my personal weekly Monday night magic class that was 44 years or something every Monday night in my home. But Jason and his professionalness of setting up a real live course like that enabled me to do something similar for a broader audience. And I would, I can't plug that enough. So thank you for bringing that up. And it's, do you remember what the thing is called? It's something like 3 degrees of tarot, something like that. But it's Magic Me, Jason, and he's got quite an assortment of wonderful series of things. I'm probably the biggest putz on the panel. But
I did notice, though, recently you brought back your Monday night magic classes. I saw some posts about it of yours.
We're starting that up again. We're right in the middle of a heat wave. It gets up to 114 here, but we've done 4 consecutive Monday night magic classes here at our home in Sacramento, and we're starting starting tomorrow. We're going to be studying Aleister Crowley's Book of Thoth and the Thoth Tarot. So that's another tarot-related thing. So we're doing that. I've just finished a new book, and it's called Building Your House of Cards.
Yes, I was about to ask about that.
And I am excited about that. And the I put a lot of work into it, and it's in a way my own way of sharing the experience that I had uh, with BOTA, only instead of being sort of Kabbalah light and tarot light, uh, it's a bit more uh, it's a bit more magical
Hmm.
and self experiential. So the meditations in it are as important or even more important than the fact that you will turn this into this and understand why, and you'll learn all the ins and outs of why this comes from just something like that, and gives you the opportunity to put all your personal doodads and stuff in your own personal deck. And if you print them out on cardstock and cut them out, you'll have an entire personal tarot of you.
One thing I wanted to ask about that actually, because you were making it sound almost as if the upcoming book is almost as if it's a tarot initiatory system.
Oh
Would,
my God, yes, it is.
mhm.
It is.
Hmm.
Would you want to expound on that more? Because it seems to me that like, although I'm very excited for the book, I'd probably be more excited for the online course that you should offer about that, because I think that's a heavy chunk to take in, and we need guidance of somebody who knows the path.
Well, the book provides enough guidance to make you scream, "Shut up, Lon!" let, let me do it. There's only so much. Uh, I dislike how some teachers abuse guided meditations.
Mhm.
Okay, up to a point, it's fine to get you jump started on things. But I absolutely hate the thought of somebody saying, okay, now you're rising on the plane here, and you should see now a man in a orange robe eating fish sticks with his toes. Uh, uh, no, you see your own visions. And the whole idea is learning how to get to the place where you properly observe what's already going on in your head. You're more magical right now. As a matter of fact, you're as magical as you're ever going to get right now. You're as psychic as you're ever going to get. You have the powers to astrally project, rise on the planes, leave your body, incarnate and you already can do that. Okay. The idea is you got to wake up to the fact that that's going on. You have to move the center of your consciousness to a place where, oh my God, this has been going on all along. Okay. It's like when you dream that you're flying. As you're flying, you go, oh God, I've always been able to do this. Why don't I do this more often? You're already doing it. Okay. The reason you fall or wake up is a lower part of you is trying to take over to say, how can you be doing that? You can't do that. What's keeping you up? Uh, the idea of magic is to get yourself, and Kabbalah and everything else is to get you to the place of where your eyes are open to that is a power, is an ability. That is a you. That's always been you. So Uh, the courses I do, the books I write, if I have an intent, if I have an intent, and I'm certainly not attached to any intent, I'm sorry, um, it is to get you to that point, not to tell you how to use that. Okay, because everybody has their own. Uh, Crowley would call it your will, but we wouldn't even be here pretending we're viewing the universe around us from this consciousness point, center of consciousness. We wouldn't even be here if there's something we've got to do that only we can do. And I can't tell you what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm working on my own.
Exactly.
Okay. So I guess that's my philosophy of teaching. Okay. As a matter of fact, the best that any teacher can do is saying, well, look at me. I'm trying to wake up to this or wake up to that. Okay, these are the mistakes I made. These are the things that I do. Here I am right now. I'm not sure if that's going to be instructive to you or not. But you got to be where you are. Okay, and here are some classic tools that not only do I use, but have been used from time immemorial, just to lubricate your own machinery.
You know, it's
like
amazing.
teaching people breath work, and they suddenly realize, like, well, I've been breathing my entire life. It's one of my favorite things to do. But if you just
going an hour
you
and not
suddenly
doing
become conscious of it, and now everybody watching this is like, oh yeah, very conscious of their breathing. But also doing it in a certain way will enhance what you're doing. It'll make it better.
Yeah, every one of these exercises in the new book, even in dealing with the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, the 3 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Mem, Shin, literally create the dimension that we're in. Aleph is up and down, and Mem is forward and backwards, and Shin is right to left. Okay, sitting in your meditation. Okay, you know what the Hebrew letter is. You know the tarot cards that go in it. Breathe in with Aleph as you create the vertical thing. Blow out with Mem. Right to left with Sheens. So every one of the exercises is also a breath exercise. You create the dimension around you just with those 3 letters. Okay, you build the cube of space. Well, I've always got a cube of space handy here. There's your Aleph Mem Shin right there. Okay, that creates up and down. Okay, this creates front and back. This creates right and left. Okay, that creates the 6 walls. Each of those walls is a Hebrew letter. Each of those walls is a tarot card. Each of those not only has a vowel sound that goes with it, that you do with inward breath, outward breath, but it also has a frequency of sound. It also has a sound note. Just like light has a spectrum of colors, every one of these aspects of existence has a note that goes with it too. With a pitch pipe, a simple pitch pipe, or if you got a guitar or a stringed instrument or a piano around, you chant those letters coupled with the breath control and the visualization of the tarot card, and you're sitting right in the middle of your own Cabalistic tarot cube of space. And I tell you, it gets you very high.
Yeah, you're doing that to me already. Just talking about it, it's kind of like, whoa, I'm having a mind job here. Because, like, I just wanted to share just this tiny interruption. The devil is not even the devil. God is in the details, in other words. Because, like, a lot of people will take a tarot card. It's like, okay, lawn shows yellow for the background. What? Yeah. Who cares? Just yellow. But by understanding the correspondences and the why of why it's yellow, the background, and what it relates to, and understanding all of that, something that is regularly neglected as just even a color turns into like an entire hack in the system that most people are unaware of. So, like, am I correct by saying this?
Yeah, and I love your word hack, because that's exactly, because all of us already have the potential of all this perfect structure going on in our brain, and we just haven't hacked into it to say, oh, I've got that room in my brain. Oh, I didn't know I had that. Okay. The tarot just triggers it. It gives the little keys to unlock what's truly already there.
You know, it's interesting. You brought up the cube of space with the Cabalistic correspondences and the and the tarot correspondences. That's exactly how Ebony Anpu used to do his Tesseract magic. Only instead of a cube, it was a hypercube. But he built it one element at a time. And each one had its own Cabalistic correspondence to it.
You know, I think if it's one thing that we all can take away and our viewers can take away from today is, do not neglect the necessity to forensically study every single detail about the tarot card, because it's there, especially like the Rider Whites or even your deck. If it's there for a reason. It's not just crap on paper. The color, the symbol, the number, everything. There's something locked in there. And if you're just saying, oh, look, pretty color, it's a magician, looks good, you miss the freaking point. There's so much more there that, that's a card of magic. No, there's like so much more there. And if you get deeper and deeper and deeper into it, like the BOTA one, and like you spend 2 weeks forensically dissecting that card, you might not even need the rest of the deck, because everything you need is just in one card. Is that something you can agree with?
Oh, absolutely. And my wife always says, every tarot card is the same tarot card. Okay, there's only one tarot card. Okay, but you can look at that same totality at a different angle, like a facet in a cut stone. Every tarot card tells the same story from a different angle, okay. And especially the trumps. But anyway, I'm going to have to get myself ready for my show here this morning.
We are so thankful for having you, Lon, with us. We've learned so much today. Thank you very much for being such an inspiration for people like us. The show's not over yet, but we'll let you go ahead. We'll just discuss what we've learned from you. From the bottom of our hearts and all of our viewers at Magic.tv, you're a living legend, Lon. We love you, and we're always here to support you. Well, by the way, when can we expect your book to come out? And when can we order it?
Well, you can't order it yet. It'll be from Weiser Books. And it should be out in the spring of 2025. So next spring.
We're looking forward to it. So once again, Lon, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very, very much.
Thank you again.
Happy in the future. And we will, and also, guys, please follow Lon's Facebook Lives. Literally, he's doing everybody a service, going on live, sharing his knowledge and his wisdom. I literally listen to it almost every night. There's always something new.
And they're always repeated on YouTube. So if they don't have Facebook, just go to YouTube and type my name in. You'll see the freshest show.
More power to you, Lon. You can go ahead and leave. Wonderful day. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to seeing you again. Take care, Lon.
Thanks a lot.
Wow. That was, that was humbling, to hear that from somebody like Lon, because I've been reading the tarot since I was 14, since I met you. And he just basically just bitch slapped me with a truth bomb, that like, if you're just reading, he's basically just said to the world through that episode that if you're just reading the tarot, and you're not understanding the intricate details, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
Right? And it's
that's each card is like a stained glass window, and you look at the world through that card, and it all looks a certain way, but it's the same world. You look at it with a different card, it's a whole different picture of the same thing.
Basically what he did, he just gave everybody out there a map to a gold mine, because with what he shared with all of us, if you're not forensically dissecting each card and understanding the why behind all of it, you're missing out on a lot of potential. And it's episodes like that, bro, that really just blow my mind. They just really blow my mind. I mean, like, I know Lon has a show, but he made time for us. And this is one thing I love about Lon. I mean, if there was anyone out there who had all the rights and the credentials to being a pompous dick about what he's achieved, it could easily be him. But instead, he's the most down-to-earth guy. He is so supportive of people. He doesn't have arrogance to him, you know what I mean? And that's what the community needs, and I'm happy to see that there's a stronger sense of respect and camaraderie of mages of all levels, not just like the heavy hitters who's been doing it since before I was born, like Lon, and then the newer people who are just coming in, the newer authors like Shea and stuff. Everybody's like, not everybody, unfortunately, but a lot of people are like saying, you know what? There's so few Jedi left. We might as well come together and help each other. That's such a nice thing to see. I've had my own experiences too, where some authors, I'm not going to mention any, be such dickwads. You know what I mean? Like one author I invited on the show, he was asking to be paid. And the minute he did that, I was like, wait a minute. If you got people who've been doing this for 40 years, Marcus Katz, Lon, Scott Stenwick, Aaron Leitch, these guys have done so much for the studies. They're doing it voluntarily. Who the hell do you think you are to ask?
And he wants something so cheap as money.
Yeah.
And where's my money?
Yeah. It's like you're missing out on the fact that they're plugging into something bigger than just money. It's like, I believe in support. I think that, like, if knock on wood, I got struck by lightning and I was fighting for my life, you probably would do a broadcast saying, hey guys, all of you who remember Rob, can you just send some goodwill his way? And I would sleep well knowing that I'd just get goodwill from you, from Lon, from Jack, you know what I mean, from Doc Weiss, because your goodwill is a lot heavier than most people's goodwill. I mean, your goodwill's got some backup with it, you know what I mean? So with the stuff you guys practice, and I am just really praying that the next generation of mages, occultists, authors follow this pattern. You know what I mean? That they continue to always remember the little guys.
Yeah, it's real easy, especially with the information age now. You can go and sign up for a thing on a website. You can download a certificate saying that you're now a high priestess or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You were saying
a lot of the easy ego boosts that are available now. Everything is so watered down. There's like so many people that are doing almost nothing, but it's real easy to get caught up in the ego of it. Of like, oh, now I'm an influencer. I'm a pagan influencer. And, and I've got advertisers and I've got sponsors, but it's all just nothing. You don't have any actual power.
You don't have any substance. You know what I mean? Like that, in other words, you're pandering your practice and your belief just for sponsors. You're pandering your authenticity just for money. And
Yeah.
that, if you ask me, you missed the point. I mean,
Well, it's like what Lon was saying is that, well, it doesn't matter if you want to become a black magician, you have to first become a magician, because until you actually have power, there's no reason to worry about what you're going to do with it.
that much is true. And after today, after what I've learned from Lon, and I've actually learned a lot of this too from Marcus Katz, because Marcus is like a real scholar of the tarot and a good friend. Too many people treat tarot like a one night stand when it should deserve a deeper commitment. And just basically everything Lon was saying today was it pays. It really pays to invest into that commitment in the tarot. To like not just saying, oh, look, it's yellow. It's about, well, why is it yellow? Oh, look, there's a dog. Okay, what does the dog mean? You see what I mean? That it's not just like, here's a deck of cards. Oh, that's pretty. Pay me $5 and I'll read your fortune. It's more like, oh, you drew this card. And because of this card, there's this behind it. And it's almost like it's sentient. And that's, for lack of a better words, beautiful. Like, I think I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight after what Lon said, because now I'm going to, like he was saying, 2 weeks per card. I'm going to literally microscopically dissect every single card I have, because it's kind of like saying, no, you missed out on the diamond there, did you? There's literally a diamond to be picked up. It should pay your rent. Oh, you didn't know that? It's kind of like when you're playing a video game and somebody said, oh, did you get the green armor? It's like, what green armor? You didn't know there was a green armor there? And then it makes you go back and, holy shit. Then you go back and replay the game, and then it takes you on a completely different tangent that you never even knew was possible. And that's
back in the day, there was a real, they sold a Thoth deck. That was it was massive. Each card was massive. They weren't meant for reading. They were meant for like hanging up in your temple to do different things. But the detail on them was absolutely exquisite. And you could see a lot more that you couldn't just see if you had the small playing card size.
Sometimes I think, since we're talking about the tarot, like, you've played D&D, right? Like, you probably played first edition. Am I correct?
Oh, I played back when it was just regular basic.
Yeah, so basic, basically, you were like a thief. Remember, they call it a thief. But now in 5th edition, a thief is not a thief. It's a subclass of what they call the rogue. And the rogue could be an assassin. It could be a thief. It could be a swashbuckler. You know what I mean? It could be a ninja. So many different things. And I think that some people, when they class into the tarot class, they can either go mystic, like what Lon just bitch slapped me with. They can go professional tarot consultant, you know what I mean, which I've basically been doing. But like, if you're gonna say like, okay, who could read the most people at parties? I probably could, because I'm younger. But who could give a 3.5-hour lecture on the symbology of everything of a tarot deck? Lon would wipe the floor with me. You see what I mean?
And you could do that on one card.
No, but that's the thing, knowing what he knows. And that's the point. That's one area where, like, I myself have invested into studying, deepening my relationship with the tarot. But like, if I'm saying, I'm in a deep committed relationship with the tarot, Lon just basically looked at me, oh, I'm celebrating my 50th wedding anniversary with the tarot. Like, whoa, okay, man. It's just like, you know what I mean? And it's humbling in a very good way, It's humbling in a very good way. I really admire my students in tarot who go that route, and then they go deeper, and then we actually start discovering things together. Like, one thing I know about, like, what I liked about Marcus when he was here teaching tarot, he would even say, okay, that in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Queen of Wands has a cat, and the cat's name is, I think, Squiggles the cat. You know what I mean? And like, his understanding of the deck, the Rider-Waite deck, is just on the artistic level. It's just, holy crap, like, amazing. It's just amazing. And then that's just on the historical. What Lon just said, oh yeah, but what about the Cabalistic aspect of it? And I really would like to talk to somebody about that and just dig deep into those things, because he was sharing with us things today that didn't even cross my mind. And
Well, the idea of installing each card into your brain hole like a new piece of software, that really struck.
yeah, the
And that's
BOTA.
something I never did.
Yeah, I learned that from the BOTA, the Builders of Idea Item, and they had a very useful technique if you enlist into their training series that helps you do that. But again, it's more like I'm just amazed on the depth of what Lon just revealed today. I think he was basically like telling me that like the tarot in itself is multifaceted. It's like each card is a Swiss Army knife, and I've been just using the blade. That there's a corkscrew there, there's a can opener, and now I don't want to bug the guy, but I do want to kind of like I wish I could have had him for 30 more minutes after the show and just wait a minute, let's go card for card here. What are we doing with this? How are we doing it with this? And it just amazes me. I mean, it's just, for lack of a better word, amazing. So anyhow, Wade, it's an honor to have you in these moments, brother. I mean, it's real full circle. If I ever had a guardian demon or a guardian Shango, it would be you. And next week,
I'm going to be a force ghost when I die, so
please
I'll
don't
be around.
Please don't. Not anytime soon. You know what I mean?
No. Not for probably about 36, 37 years. But I will be a force ghost.
So. I'm looking forward to that. But looking forward to 36 more years with you as a friend. But what I'm trying to say, though, is like, guys, the magic is coming back, or if not, it never even left. And great things are coming. Next week, we have a very amazing author joining us. I don't want to fully divulge it yet, but I've already told him that next week we're going to have him. And it's somebody who's actually crossed paths with you. He said, yes, I've met Wade Long in Ancient Ways. And I've been reading his books. I love his approach to things. I'll see if I can get you a copy. I don't think I'll get there on time. But his approach to magic is very personalized, and I love how he kind of teaches you how to recreate your own reality with magic. So we're going to talk about that through the creation of what he calls your own black book. So if you guys have any idea who it is, share it in the comments. But I'm very excited to have him on the show. I'm sure he's going to teach us a lot of stuff. But until then, brother, it's been another episode of Magic.tv, season 4. Like, did you ever think we'd be, going this far? We would have had these many amazing people on the show?
Yes, I did.
You did. So you hid it from me when I was having my mental breakdown. You didn't bother telling me.
Rob,
this time you're going to be on a personal level with Lon Duquette, so don't off yourself. You're just like. But no regrets, man. No regrets to that one. So anybody?
Tribes are gathering and dark times are ahead. So it's you never know who you're going to run into.
Amen to that, man. And we are looking forward to having you in the Philippines. Tiny shout out as well. TarotCon 2024 is November 17th in the Podium Hall here in Manila. It's probably the biggest tarot conference in Asia. All right. And if everything goes accordingly, Marcus Katz will come back. And we are probably going to have Naomi Ozaniek, who will be a guest of ours in the show, and she'll be coming as well to talk about tarot and meditation. Bigger venue, more sponsors, more people. We wish we could have you, but if we can't, we'll get you next year. But guys, check it out. It's available on this. Let me add it here. It looks so much better this year. The official website of TarotCon PH is, there you go, tarotconph.com. Check it out, Wayne.
Okay.
Tell me about the page. It looks lovely. But until next week, my friend, stay sharp, stay amazing. See you guys next week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Enjoy.